There we go. Camera seems really close. That's okay. All right. I'm still setting up here, getting ready for tonight's broadcast as we get ready for another Barrie Colts versus Sudbury Wolves game. Believe it or not, this is already the fifth meeting this season between these two Central Division rivals. Of course, these two teams will meet a total of 8 times this season, and it's always one of the I think it's probably one of the top rivalries in the Ontario Hockey League. So it's always a fun matchup when these two teams meet. Of course, the Barrie Colts right now 4-0 is their record against the Sudbury Wolves. 3 out of those 4 games were 1 goal differences. The last time the Wolves were here was an 8-1 final. So we'll see what we have in store here between Sudbury and the Barrie Colts. And Zachary, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, the Prospects game in London and Oshawa. Tons of fun. That was a great little series there. A little surprised by that first game in London where Team CHL seemed to dominate the U.S. National Development Program. I was glad to see that second game a lot closer. Keishawn Aitchison, of course, of the Barrie Colts, had a great tournament there. It was great to see him get a goal in the first game and also delivering the body check. So, yeah, that was a great series, and we'll have to wait and see if how this all plays out as we go forward, if we're going to have that matchup again next year or not. And Ethan, yes, I do the Rogers play-by-play here for the Barrie Colts. So I'm just I'm early to the game here on Thursdays. So Thursdays I like to try and do a bit of a live stream just to get everyone ready for the matchup for the Thursday night game. And of course, tonight we're getting ready for the Sudbury Wolves and the Barrie Colts. So I'm in the booth right now. Nobody else is up here, so we'll have to wait to see when everyone else is getting here. The Sudbury Wolves have not yet arrived. I know there's some snow north of us. I know I think there was winter storm warnings, I guess, in Parry Sound, so we'll see how that all plays out. But, yep, only one right now in the building. You can hear the music in the background, I'm sure, but, yep, we're just getting set up here. And, Zachary, yeah, thank you very much for the compliment. It's a ton of fun. I love doing this. I've been doing the play-by-play now for the Barrie Colts for, I think this is my 8th season. So definitely have a lot of fun doing it. Anyone on the ice from the stands like the players? Not yet, except there is a Barrie Colt player on the bench right now. So here, let me move my camera and I'll show you what's going on at ice level. So there's someone there for the Barrie Colts. Can't tell who it is. Might be Ethan Passmore. But, yeah, still nothing of the Sudbury Wolves, as you can see, pretty empty right now. The security for parking lot getting ready to go out there to navigate that. You can see here in the press box, nobody here just yet. We got the cameras ready, so we're ready for the broadcast tonight. And yeah, we'll get this game underway. So the Colts and Steelheads, they do have, I believe it's 2 more meetings. One meeting here at the Sadlin, and then the next meeting will be at the CAA Center in March. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can go to the game at the CAA Center. That's what I'm hoping to do. I haven't been to Brampton since the Brampton Battalion were knocked out by the Sudbury Wolves in 2013, so it's been a while since I've been there. Now for tonight's game, I do know that we have Nate Krawchuk. He's going to be in net tonight for the Sudbury Wolves, and we've got Sam Hillebrandt in goal for the Barrie Colts. So Krawchuk versus Hillebrandt tonight. Of course, these two teams are going to play again tomorrow at the Sudbury Community Arena. So we'll see what happens here, this little home and home. And, of course, I was looking at the lineups. It looks like Keishawn Aitchison will not be in the lineup tonight for the Barrie Colts after playing in the CHL Prospects Challenge. So the Barrie Colts, they do have some good depth on the blue line. So it's going to be unfortunate us seeing Aitchison here tonight, but the Colts are playing a 3-3. They're going to be in Sudbury tomorrow night, and then they're home to Brantford on Saturday. And if you're coming to the game on Saturday, remember it's the Teddy Bear Toss game. So the Teddy Bear Toss game, always a lot of fun. Not sure which trade you're talking about, Zachary. If you're talking about the Colts or the Steelheads, either or. Well, Ethan, I probably wouldn't count out maybe some rough stuff here tonight because you got Gabriel Eliason, of course. He's a pretty rough and tumble player, so he's. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of rough stuff. Oh, the Peterborough trade. You're probably talking about Chase Lefebvre. Yeah, Lefebvre is a good pickup, I think, for the Steelheads. It's going to be interesting to see what the conditions are on that the draft pick that went back to Peterborough. I'm almost wondering if the conditions are if Lefebvre's on the lineup past the OHL trade deadline, and if that's the case, then that draft pick will be increased. But yeah, Lefebvre, he's going to be a fun player to follow there for sure for the Steelheads, and it's nice to see now that they've filled the overage situation there for Brampton. And right now the Steelheads kind of slow start, not what we expected. We kind of thought, I kind of at least figured it'd be Brampton sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference standings at this point, not Kingston. Nothing against the Frontenacs. They've been a lot of fun to follow, but a little surprised with the play of the Steelheads. Maybe Lefebvre's that boost that they need. Yes, Hrebeck is back in the lineup. He's going to be backing up Sam Hillebrandt tonight. So it sounds like it was just a minor little issue. That's why Arvin Jaswal was on the road trip last weekend. So Hrebeck's back. I would imagine we see Hrebeck play tomorrow in Sudbury just because it's the 3-3. But probably have to wait and see what happens here between the Wolves and the Colts here tonight, which should be a good game. Also to note, the Colts have signed Ben Bowen, the second-round pick last year's draft. He reported to the Chilliwack Chiefs, but did not play in the BCHL. And of course, we all know what happened with the NCAA vote. So players are now coming from the BCHL to the OHL. Still waiting to find out if Malhotra will come and join the Brantford Bulldogs. Haven't heard anything specific yet, but we know Bowen is now a member of the Barrie Colts. Actually, I was going to check to see if Bowen was going to be on the roster here tonight. Let's see if I can get the roster lineup back up. Oh, also to note, if you haven't heard, Ryder Bolton has been handed an 8-game suspension for the slash on Zane Parekh. So that was actually just announced not too long ago. So the Knights, who are also already without Casper Haltonen due to a suspension, they're now going to be without Ryder Bolton. It sounds like Easton Cowan won't play tomorrow in Peterborough for the Knights. And Denver Barkey also questionable. So the London Knights, they're on that 15-game winning streak, but right now dealing with injuries and suspension. So a big suspension handed out to Ryder Bolton today. So score prediction for tonight, I'm figuring this is going to be another 1-goal game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be like a 3-2 score. I don't want to say the O word because I still have to work first thing in the morning, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have extra time tonight. 3-2, probably give the edge to the Colts. But you have to figure Sudbury has to win one of the 8 games this season, right? I don't know. What's your score prediction there, Ethan? Oh, Zachary's going to say another 8-1 score. Well, that's what we had last time. So, well, I work full-time at a radio station here in Barrie. So it's I do the morning show at the radio station here in town, and then I do this as a side project. Oh, Ethan's saying 6-3. That'd be maybe with a couple of empty netters there, eh? So, yeah, this one should be a good game. I was just going to pull up that roster. I want to see if Bowen was going to be in the lineup here tonight. Just looking at the lineup sheets. It doesn't look like Bowen's going to be in the lineup here tonight. But he did sign today. Oh, Zachary says he likes going up north. It's a lot of fun when you can go in the fall or the spring when the weather is a little bit nicer. Now that we've got some snow in the forecast, that trip can be a little hectic. And right now, of course, we're still waiting for the Sudbury Wolves to arrive. Not here yet, but we still have a couple hours till puck drop. So usually teams arrive 2 hours before. Actually, when I got here, there was a couple players from the Barrie Colts who were just pulling up. So it's still pretty quiet here. Does this pay good? Well, It's if you're talking about doing the Rogers, it's an okay. It's enough. It's kind of this is a hobby job really. And Zachary says he likes going to Wasaga. Wasaga Beach is a ton of fun. I think we were there a few times this summer, so you got to take advantage of it when you can. That the big beach, but where's another one? Bass Lake is pretty good. If you've ever been there, that's near Aurelia. That's a good spot in the summer. So if you get a chance to go to Aurelia is a nice spot. Or go up to Muskoka. Muskoka is always a great one. Sauble Beach, that's a good trip. Yes, that's the main thing. Get to see hockey, especially the hockey that we have here in junior hockey, the junior level, and the Barrie Colts. I think it's gonna be a fun ride. We're not even halfway through the season, and we've been already having a ton of fun. For the home games, the players drive themselves, so they get here, and then for the road trips, they bus together. So for the Sudbury Wolves, they're all going to come down here on the bus at some point. But yeah, so it's been so we'll see what goes on here. I think for the Barrie Colts, this is I think a 2-year window is what you're looking at, because you're going to still have a lot of returning players next season. I don't think they're going to trade away all their young talent at the trade deadline. I would expect the Colts to maybe add a depth player up front for the offense, because the defense and the goaltending has been strong. The Colts have given up the fewest goals in the Ontario Hockey League, so this year is going to be a good run. And then next year, if Cole Baudouin comes back, unless he sticks around a little bit with the Utah Hockey Club, then maybe we'll have questions about next year. But I would expect for the Barrie Colts this year, next year is their window of opportunity. But time will tell. Of course, you're gonna have to make some moves. Kayshawn Aitchison will likely be back too next year, so I would think the Barrie Colts should be in a good spot next year. Plus Parker Vaughn, he's a rookie this year. He's taken some good strides, and I expect even for a second year, kind of like we saw with Cole Baudouin, he should take that next step. So expect Vaughn to be more of a presence next year. And yep, that's exactly it, Robert. As long as everyone stays healthy and we don't have the injuries, then this team should be in a good spot. And I think right now they do have some great depth, and they've been, knock on wood, healthy so far. I know we missed Bo Jelsma at the start of the regular season due to that shoulder injury, but since then, this Barrie Colts team's been pretty healthy. And then you look at the Sudbury Wolves, and now missing Quentin Musty. It's going to be interesting to see how the Wolves pivot here. Obviously, Musty put in that request for a trade and didn't want to report to the Sudbury Wolves, but changed his mind after I think he got some pressure from the San Jose Sharks and decided to report. He was playing really good, but now that he broke his hand, he's not going to be playing at the World Juniors. And then do the Sudbury Wolves still find a trade partner at the OHL trade deadline? Because we don't know how long Musty's going to be out. So, yeah, health is a big factor. And for the Barrie Colts, they've been fortunate so far. When you look at the Sudbury Wolves, I like the look of this team, but when you have Musty out of the lineup for as long as it looks like he's going to be, we'll see what they can do to address their depth. And Zachary says he really likes Ivan Kovic, and he's been good. Oh, he has been solid. I think Brampton was kind of the envy of the league to start the regular season with the 1A and B situation with Ivan Kovic and Ryerson Leenders. Obviously, someone needed to move, and Leenders going to the Brantford Bulldogs, I think, was a great move for Brampton, and they can use those picks they got in that trade to address their depth in other places. I would think Brampton will probably look to add another piece or two between now and the OHL trade deadline, but from the goaltending, that top line, the Steelheads are in a very good spot, and they look pretty dominant there against the Greyhounds, as Zachary mentioned earlier in the comments. And yeah, Ivan Kovic even looked pretty good last night in Oshawa at the Prospects Challenge game. So great prospect. I would expect him to maybe be the first goaltender drafted at the NHL draft in June. So I don't think he'll be in the first round. You're probably looking at second, third, potentially. But Ivan Kovic will probably get drafted first as a goaltender at the NHL draft. So it looks like we got a few more players here. Still not seeing. Sudbury Wolves still aren't here, although they've still got 5 more minutes until it's a 2-hour mark. Actually, the broadcast team for the Sudbury Wolves hasn't even arrived yet. Usually they're here before the team gets here. So, and of course, the play-by-play voice here for the Sudbury Wolves radio broadcast is David Bowen. That's the son of Joe Bowen. I did the interview on the channel with Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And of course, Joe Bowen was the former Sudbury Wolves play-by-play voice. So if you haven't seen that interview, it's on the channel. Definitely worth a listen. There's some good stories there talking about his travels. They got stuck in London from a snowstorm and ended up rescuing people on the 401. So if you haven't seen the Joe Bowen interview yet on the channel, highly recommend it. And at some point, I think I'm going to have to get David Bowen on to talk because Bowen, he does a great job doing the radio broadcast for the Sudbury Wolves. And so maybe we'll have to catch up and see when he gets here. And Owen Gale says, Wakely first goal, calling it. All right, Owen, I'm going to mark that down, that you said that Wakely is going to get the first goal. But Wakely, he has been solid since coming over from the North Bay Battalion. Tons of fun. It's that line of Wakely and Gardner and Bodie Stewart has been solid. So, yeah, if someone's going to score the first goal tonight, Dallin Wakely would probably be my guess as well. So, yeah. So it's been a solid live stream so far. Thank you very much for everyone tuning in so far. And Zachary's going to say it's going to be Passmore. Well, Evan Passmore, he's got a pretty good shot. Something that we didn't see at all last year, but this year we've been seeing a lot more from him. And then Nick says an Eccleston Hattie incoming. All right. I like that. Yeah, because Eccleston, he just signed with the Sudbury Wolves. So we'll have to wait and see for him how he looks with Sudbury. Actually, not seeing him here on the sheet. I'm expecting that he will be in the lineup, although maybe this hasn't updated it as of yet. Because usually the media rep for the Barrie Colts, he'll come around, drop off the lineup sheets. So still waiting for that, although we do know who the starting goaltenders are at this point. So, but overall, tonight's game should be a lot of fun. And the goal light is active tomorrow. Eccleston's playing, but probably won't get too may minutes. Yeah, they'll probably want to ease him in. I think what a great signing for the Sudbury Wolves getting Eccleston. So I've heard about the goal light. I know Dario Zulich, the owner of the Sudbury Wolves, he is excited about that water tower goal light. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I got to get back up to Sudbury for a game. I was hoping to go there at the start of the season, but didn't make it up there. But now that there's the giant goal light downtown Sudbury, got to get up there to check it out myself. The starting goaltenders tonight, Nate Krawchuk for Sudbury and Sam Hillebrandt for the Barrie Colts. That's what has been listed so far. Obviously, that could change, but that's what I've got right now. Now, the Sudbury Wolves, they do have some tough guys on their team. I really like calling these games. I used to I'm in a unique position because I've been on both sides of the rivalry. I used to do the radio broadcast for the Sudbury Wolves about 10 years ago now. So I've seen both sides of the rivalry, and I always get excited when these two teams go head-to-head. And, of course, Sudbury, they do have a lot of big guys. I really like Kieran Walton. Has he ever taken a step forward with the Sudbury Wolves team? So I always get excited when we've got Sudbury Barrie. It's just too bad we're packing them all in to start the regular season, because after this and tomorrow, I think there's only 2 more meetings between these two teams, which is kind of surprising because you like to see the rivalry spread out, but can't complain. It's the way they made the schedule. Cash is going to try. Right now, it looks like, from what I saw on the lineup sheet, no Sean Aitchison tonight. So he did play last night in Oshawa, back-to-back, because it is a 3-3 for the Barrie Colts this weekend, so it would make sense to give Sean Aitchison a night off, rest up. I know that I saw on social media that his billet roommate, Michael Durbich, was there to pick him up at the Tributes Community Center last night, so he's probably exhausted. He put in a great effort, and we'll have to wait and see what's in store for Aitchison as the season progresses? Musty Hattie tonight. Well, unfortunately, Owen, Quentin Musty is out. He broke his hand in the game Sunday against Oshawa. So Quentin Musty, he will not be going to the World Juniors to play for Team USA. And it sounds like he'll be out of the lineup for 3 months, is what I've heard. So, of course, that pushes it past the OHL trade deadline. So, unfortunate situation there for Musty. And, of course, the trade deadline coming. What do the Sudbury Wolves do? Do they still move Quentin Musty? Time will tell. Hoping Rowan Henderson gets more minutes with Musty out. Deserves it. In my opinion, he's been our best penalty killer and is starting to find his offensive game. I've really enjoyed the play of Henderson. Just seeing him in that 3-3 last weekend that the Sudbury Wolves played. He's a big body. I think he's starting to get that confidence. And with Musty out of the lineup, I would expect, too, that he should probably get a few more extra minutes. So I'd agree with that, Nick. Right now, we just have Barrie Colts players. Here, I'll show you the ice right now. So that's the Sudbury bench. So nobody's here yet. And then we got a couple of Colts players here now. So I would expect the Wolves to get here any minute now. Although the weather up north, I understand, is not the greatest. Then again, during the winter months, Perry Sound's usually a mess anyway. You get the lake effect, snow off Georgian Bay, and you just got to take your time. Although I still need to get my snow tires on my vehicle. So I've also fallen behind on the snow tires thing because we haven't had much snow. So we are now 22 minutes into the live stream. Should be getting the lineups any moment now, but I should wrap things up because I still need to get my spot ready. But thank you very much for everybody tuning into the live stream so far. It's been really great to see the growth on the channel. I think I'm almost at 600 subscribers now for this channel. So everyone who's subscribed recently, thank you very much for joining this channel. Just a reminder, if you're new, I try to do live streams before the Thursday games here for the Barrie Colts. So next week, we've got the Flint Firebirds in town on Thursday, so I'll do another live stream before then. But in the meantime, enjoy the game tonight. And yes, just a reminder, the Teddy Bear Toss game is on Saturday when the Barrie Colts take on the Brantford Bulldogs. So again, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.
We try to be